Howdy soldiers. A long time ago, I did a video on some of my favorite non-YA books, but that was a long ass time ago, and I have a lot of new ones to share. As I was picking these out, I also realized a lot of these are fantasy novels, so if you're not a big fantasy reader, I don't really have many other videos for you, honestly. You know that BookTube focuses a lot on YA books, so there's not a lot of other channels out there that do other types of books. So let's add this to the algorithm today, shall we? The first one is a new favorite, and that is the very beautiful Lies of Loch Lamora by Scott Lynch. A heist novel that takes place in a Venetian-inspired fantasy world. We follow the two gentleman bastards as they go and pull off this impossible heist. The world building in this is insane. I love how Scott Lynch built this so well, and the main character of Locke is just awesome to follow along on because he's a man with a plan, and the way that the book is written in that kind of like past and then present is something that I really like to read, and I think it adds more intrigue to the novel itself. It's a book to fully immerse yourself in. So much so that afterwards you're like, I need to plan a heist. Somebody, I need to plan a heist. My second one also comes from this shelf, and that is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. Harry Potter goes to university. Done. But really, this is about a guy named Kvothe who grows up in a world where, like, magic's sort of there, but not really. Like, you can learn it if you wish. And he is so smart that he ends up going to this college where you can learn about that kind of thing. The world building is just incredible and so detailed and so immersive is a word that I'm going to use a lot for this book because you just, it's just so real. Because student loans, like, I get it, Kvothe, I am there with you. But also learning the name of the wind and how to speak it and how to get patronage and how music affects people and first love and connections between people at school, and this is just a gorgeous book. I was so happy that I picked it up. I let myself get harassed into buying it. I'm gonna harass you until you buy it too. Third on this list makes me very happy that I chose a bronze lip because everything is going with my aesthetic today, and that is Circe by Madeline Miller. I was going to add in Song of Achilles to this list, but I really loved Circe. I think her writing just grew exponentially better. This is a beautifully written book. She has rewritten Greek mythology and the tale of Circe, who is a witch on an island that Odysseus runs into on his adventures. It's like how she got her fame, but this whole backstory of her and how she became that witch and why she lives on that island and what she did to survive in Olympus beforehand and how many years she's been alive and all the things she's done, and it's this really cool, twisted feminist retelling. You feel so bad because technically she's a villain in all these stories, but I'm like, no, she's not. She's just so misunderstood. Next up is yet again another book that goes with my lip color, and that is The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. My friend recommended this to me, and it spiraled into me reading every Russian-inspired fantasy novel out there. So if you also wish to do that, it's a wild ride, would recommend. Should start with this. We follow Vasya as she is a young girl growing into a teenager and her ability to communicate with these spirits and creatures of folklore. But as winter is now coming to their remote village, the Frost King, Frost Demon, is now here to spread winter upon them, alongside a Christian missionary coming to spread the word of God, and how her village now pushes her as an outsider for still believing and honoring the old-fashioned spirits of her religion. Catherine Arden is just so well researched and has written in such a way that you can feel the winter creeping into your bones. Another Russian folktale inspired book that swept me off my feet was the 5 out of 5 stars Deathless by Catherine M. Valente. This is a retelling of the folktale of Koshki the Deathless, and it follows the main woman protagonist named Maria as we go through this civil war in the real world, but also deal with the folklore of the tale along with a bunch of creatures and lore of Russia. The way that she manipulated the magic to make sense as a retelling was really well done, especially when it coincides with like real world events. This modernized historical retelling was so incredibly beautiful. I cannot get over how Valente writes. It just, oh, it's something so dark but so intriguing, and it just gets into your head and then you're quoting her all day long and you just can't stop. Second to last is a book that's pretty fucking weird, not gonna lie. It was great, but it was really weird. And that is The Book of M by Ping Shepherd. In this book, everyone in the world slowly loses their shadow, and when you lose your shadow, you slowly lose your memory. As it is portrayed in a world where TV shows, social media, the news exists, it's great to see how it spreads across the world and how media deals with it. But the thing that really grabbed me was that every time someone forgets something, it somewhat becomes a reality, no matter how strange it is. So if they forget that cats can't talk, cats will suddenly start talking. If they forget that cars don't fly, cars will be able to fly. It's so cool! And the way that all the characters communicate, while some of them have lost their shadows and are trying to hold on, and other characters are trying to stay away from those people and just survive on their own and survive while there's like bands of roving random people that don't have a shadow that are really scary and like becoming these weird creatures because they forget that they're human. So wild. And along with this dystopian end of the world is this lovely, flowy writing that made me feel all the feelings. And lastly is a book that means a lot to me because I had a wild ride reading it with a bunch of other people, and that is The Last Unicorn by Peter S. Beagle. So the backbone of this gorgeous fantasy novel is that the unicorns have all gone missing, and there's this one last unicorn realizing that she's the only one that she's seen in 100 years, and she goes on this big journey to find the others. There's also a bunch of humor that's nicely integrated into it. For example, the main character's name is Schmendrick, the magician. And you probably wouldn't have heard of him. There's no love story or big war or any allegories of something exceptional. This is just a really beautiful story told in a really humorous manner. So if you like unicorns like I did when I was a kid, this is really fun to read because we get the unicorn's perspective on some stuff. And then we also get, like, the typical evil king. But then we also get this, like, really cool fantasy world. So there you have it. There's another video of some of my favorite not YA books. I have more, so I'll probably do another video of this at some point. Please leave down below your own suggestions for non-YA books for everyone watching, and also for me, because I'm starting to read more of them, you know, as I age, as it happens. You know where to click to like the video. You know where to click to subscribe. I hope you guys are all having a nice day wherever you are, and I will see you all next week. Bye!